Okay, we are just waiting for everything to go live onto Facebook. There we go. Set it for public. And we're good to go. Okay. Half a second more here. Why does this always have to get so complicated? There we go. Okay, there we go. We're showing we're live. Make sure I can see myself. Okay, let's begin. So my hey Haiti. So my title for today was dealing with darkness. I think we deal with a lot more darkness than we'll actually admit going on in our life. And today I'm feeling really attacked and uncomfortable, and stuff showing up in circumstances that are clues. And they make me feel bad inside. They make me feel angry. They make me feel upset. They make me feel scared, fear, etc. But they're clues. They're helping us understand where we've given power away, where we've done all these things. And I want to talk about some of the ways that it comes in, where we're unaware, and just help you get to be aware. And then once you're aware, then you can start to deal with them in different ways. So I'm going to say that darkness or demonic entities or energies from the past that have been feeding off of other people's positive energies are part of our lineage. They come with us. We, in shamanism, we look at lineage as being our last 10 generations. So grandparents, parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, all the way up, and then also down their lineage. So if your grandparent and you got 2 uncles or 2 aunts or whatever, they're part of your lineage. They're all part of this energetic bond of being family. And basically, darkness has been around for a long time. The stuff that's going on that's attacking us has got really good at it. So it's basically inserted things like violence, rape, beatings, things that are really energetically traumatizing. And it's actually their purpose to create a trauma in us so that we can be controlled. And it's part of the control mechanism. So from the minute you're born, you are being immersed in the traumas of your parents. So if your mother had a rape in her past or as a child, etc., she would carry that fear, that darkness, that wound that was created by the person that gave her the trauma, and it would basically be an insertion point to attach to her or their energy. This can happen to fathers, mothers, whatever, and that attachment point is created, and it's a darkness, it's a sadness, it's attached to our sexuality. If it's violence, it's attached to our safety, our self-love, etc. And basically, it just goes in there and it stays. And if your mother, for example, had it, you would carry it too, because all her beliefs, the way she talks about other people, that talks about her past, the wounds that she has, or the fact that she's being sucked dry, will make her probably suck you dry too. They will create narcissistic relationships, create love where emotion's not allowed to be expressed, create love where you have to be obedient to them all the time, or they hit all the time, or something that creates a further wound in you. And that lineage gets attached to by this darkness, and there's darknesses that love certain lineages, and it'll sit there. And you won't even know it because it's taught to you from birth. It's in your subconscious mind. All your beliefs contain this wound and the way of picturing their life from this wound. So our job is pretty big sometimes. We're sitting here with issues with our family. We're not feeling loved. We're not feeling whatever. It goes into our relationships. It goes into our sexuality with our partners, etc. And it wasn't even ours. Now, guess what? You're more than likely to get another trauma very similar to it from your partners. so that you carry this on to your children. So darkness is sitting in those kind of wounds. It's in our lineage, it's in our programming, and we won't even know it's there because it's the only thing we've ever known. It's the only belief we have. So it's time to start questioning, why does this hurt? Why doesn't this feel good? Why do I not feel loved? Why is my love come at a cost? Why do I always have to give up and give in beforehand? Now, secondly, so now we have relationships that we go into, jobs that we go into. We have relationships with our children. All of these things will create traumas as well. How many of you have a boss that was like a tyrant or whatever, and they just like had to bowl you over and make you unhappy and always yell at you or make you feel bad? Well, you had that wound, they saw the wound and they freaking went in with their claws. And because they have power over you and your boss, they'll start to, their darkness will start to feed off you as well. And let me make this really clear. This isn't always the fault of the person that is coming through. Your mother, if she has this, or your father, if he has that, or whatever, a lot of times their lineage, their parents, their whatever had these things in them as well, and they didn't even know that they were doing it. And it's just a thing that's propagated on. And guess what? Until you become aware, you're going to give it to your children. So we are here with the medicine to clear up all this darkness. And that's why there's so much fear and discomfort and not feeling good in our body right now, because these darknesses are being called into the light. All these attachments that are into us, that are sucking us dry and we're not even aware of because they're in our subconscious beliefs, are there and becoming aware, and they're vibrating and they're angry and they're pissed off and they're frustrated because you're starting to see them. And they don't want you to see them, because the only way they can survive is to feed off of people that are the light. They can't create more dark. The dark just consumes light, and we are part of this process. So what I'm saying is, as we get aware, as we start choosing ourselves, as we start self-loving, or as these solar flares start to happen and all this stuff that's coming from the outside, stuff starts to get into the light. These darknesses are getting angry and scared, and they want to fucking poke the shit out of you. Guess what? That little anxiety, that fear, that doubt, that whatever is that's showing up throughout the day. I had a huge one show up this morning around getting paid for my clients. And it hurts. I've been living with clients that I unconsciously chose because they didn't respect me and would make it so that they didn't pay me sometimes. And it was disgusting to see it. And they can be the most loving people, but if that company has an attachment, and we didn't even talk about companies and people, but companies are entities as well. And they can get attached to, and the people that you bring in are shareholders and partners and all this kind of stuff. If they have negative intent, guess what? The whole company gets sucked on. So this is all happening. And each time something shows up, I would suggest you go into your heart and say, what's going on here? Why am I feeling terror? Why am I feeling fear? Why am I feeling anxiety now? And start to become aware. It's like, oh, well, it's only with this client. What am I doing with this client? Why is this happening? Why is this happening with my sister? Why is this happening with my brother? Why is this happening with my mother? And start to get underneath it. Now, don't fight it. Don't go and attack the person that it's doing it, because like I said, they're not even consciously aware they're doing it. This darkness has got in underneath, and it's loving what it does. And as long as it keeps them low vibration, it can do whatever it wants. It can make their mouth say really hurtful things. It can make them do things to you that the person didn't intend. But we got to have boundaries. So we can't say, oh, I'm just going to accept this and you can shit on me or whatever. No, shining the light is to stand up and say, you're saying really hurtful things for me. I'm not talking to you anymore for a while. This happened with my sister. It continues. My sister's going through a horrific divorce. She wants to get everybody involved and entangled. That's her darkness going on because she won't deal with it. And it was hurting me. I couldn't talk about it anymore. No matter how much I'd give her advice, she'd come back just crying and screaming again because her ex or all this stuff is pulling on her to keep her down. And the only person that could make a choice was her. So it doesn't mean I don't still love my sister. It just means I'm standing away, and I've made a really clear boundary because she likes to attack my purpose. She likes to make me feel negative and all this kind of stuff to make herself feel good. How many people do you know that do that? And they're not consciously all the time doing it. Some are consciously, but other ones are just kind of wandering around in this haze of their discomfort. It's rampant. It's rampant. It's everywhere. If you start looking, it'll be people at the shopping mall. It's hello, Andrea, thank you. It'll be people at the shopping mall, in the line, in at the store, the credit company, the whatever, and they're all just trying to poke and trying to keep you down and keep you taking your power away and saying you're bad and you did something wrong when really you didn't. But it's happening. That's how darkness works. So what I'm going to suggest, and you're all feeling this, you're all feeling the discomfort, you're all feeling the unhappiness, you're all feeling these bubbles. I'm going to suggest taking a breath, stepping away from it and observing. Step back about 5 feet from behind you and say, what energies are going here? And you're going to see these hooks and these spears and these arrows potentially going into your body from these energies, because they want to suck you dry. That's all they know, is how to suck you dry. And it's disgusting. It's awful. They're just seething and they're dying right now because people are waking up. People are becoming aware. And when the truth comes out, it's all going to blow sideways, and they're terrified. So they're doing everything possible. And that's why it comes out of the blue. They will poke you and prod you all day long to try and keep you down. So take a breath, take a nap, go in. Yes, vampires, Diane, fully, but they're all vampires and we all know them. Some of them are our parents, some of them are our sisters and brothers, some of them are our spouses, our kids, whatever, because they're all become a victim. And I don't like the word victim, but they had no choice and they volunteered to give their energy to these things because they gave it to our government. They gave it to our tax company. They gave it to our employer. They gave it to our landlord. They gave it to anybody that you've given power over you. And then they can fuck with you whenever they want, and they can call you things and say things because you gave your power away. You thought you were supposed to, but we're not supposed to give those powers away. So breathing, drink some water with salt in it and just move the energy. When you feel that really scary thing or whatever going through your body, don't curl up and contract and be scared. Sit there with it and say, okay, this is a hook into my little inner child. Breathe for a second, hold your inner child and just, what's going on? Why are you so scared? Then you're going to start to see, okay, I gave my power away. He can say awful things about me and I can't say anything back and all this kind of stuff. And I'm going to conjecture you can say whatever the fuck you want. And it's probably a good time to start saying something that respects you. And I don't say with anger, with the stuff that's coming up. Start saying, no, you're not going to talk to me like that. And they're going to be like, oh, what? And just do it with people that you feel safe around, that you aren't going to get hit from or whatever. But that's usually the first step, is to step and breathe and say, no, I don't want you talking to me like that again. I'm a good person. I've paid my rent on time. I've done these things. You don't get any power over me at all. And really, once again, like I said, it's not them. It's that darkness that's inside of them, feeding off the seething of money and chasing of power and respect and all this kind of stuff. Anybody that says they're a massive leader or a light leader or that kind of stuff, they're pursuing ego right now. The most humble, most calm person in the world is the person that's just sitting here and saying, okay, something funny's going on here. And they're leading from their example. They're not leading to try and get people to recognize it and then they feel better about themselves. No, they're saying, I won't accept this anymore. I did a post yesterday about somebody stealing candy, and it was kind of interesting to see some of the responses. Why would it not be okay to send the picture of a person that just stole your candy out? Do I have to respect somebody that hasn't respected me? Fuck no. This is the stuff we got to start as being light entities to be. Call into truth things that are bullshit. Oh, you're not supposed to do this. Oh, you better not do that anymore, because it's become okay to shame people that are doing this. Or, oh, you sent my picture, my child's photo out. Well, is it not really the shame of the parent scared that their kid's going to be recognized and realize that their parent didn't teach them very well? It's so inverted. It's so mixed up. All we got to do is shine in integrity and light when this stuff shows up. When darkness shows up, I see you. That's the most scary fucking thing that they can hear. I see you, and shine your light on them and say, no more. You don't have to struggle. You don't have to whatever, because once they've been seen, you have power over them. No more do you have power over me. I take back all my power. It's just as simple as that. And start to feel that inner child, that compression that was in your chest start to release. And it's like, I gave it up willingly because my parents and my lineage and my religion and all this taught me all this stuff. Now you changed. Now you're the light. Now you're better. Now that can't continue to happen. And then you're going to feel a hell of a lot better about yourself, and your self-love is going to come back and a whole bunch of other things. So when you feel those dark times, when you feel those low vibrations, those other things, just start to recognize where it came from. Tell it that you see it, and tell it no more. And it can be that simple. You don't have to fight against it. If anything, go and feel the fear, because the fear is the very thing that thinks it's making you die because it contracts you and all this kind of stuff. The fear sometimes can be exhilaration. It's like, holy crap, I now see this and I'm getting better and I'm changing. So go in and feel the fear, sit with it, realize it's not going to kill you. And then that fear never has any power over you again. That tightness in your chest has no power over you again, because that was the darkness going in there and sucking you dry so that you just continue to be afraid. So you'd never look up and realize that you got a sword in your hand and you got light in your eyes and you got power. And you never, never, never agreed to some of this stuff. You just aligned with it because you didn't know you had a choice. You do have a choice. I see you. Time to stop. We are done. Poof, energies go. And if it's attached to another company, another person or whatever, you can't change them, you can't fix them, you can't do whatever. Disconnect from them. I'm gonna sit down energetically and let all those clients go. All that shit that's not paying me and not whatever. And either they're gonna approach with, holy shit, I did something to this person and I don't know why, and then respect me, or I didn't need them in my life at all. That goes for friends. That goes for even family members. Family members that aren't waking up, that want to continue to cut you down and tell you you're bad and what you're doing is wrong, don't belong in your life until they can see you for what you are. And it's going to be amazing. It's scary as hell. You're going to feel alone, but I'm going to tell you, you're not alone. There's this whole light team. There's people like me. There's people on this group that will see you and know you and say, wow, look at how powerful you are. So key is darkness. You've agreed to it in some way, shape, or form, and you didn't know. Oh, we didn't even get into sexual relationships and those kind of things, but those are even hookier because they go right into your heart. They just bypass everything because you gave your whole body and soul to another person. But family relationships, sister and brother relationships, grandparents, all the way up, jobs, clients, anybody that you've really loved and you've helped and all this kind of stuff may have a connection to you because you gave it. You didn't know any better at the time, but make a choice. I see you, no more. And that no more is so fucking powerful. And the only reason you're feeling the tightness in your chest is there's something off, and get that something off in your awareness. Now that that something off is there, do I have to make that choice? Did I even consciously make that choice? No, sometimes you just bought in because you didn't know any better. It's okay. You did nothing wrong. And now it's time to learn and wake up. So no more, I see you. The light is shining through the dark. The dark is terrified. You're going to feel more and more dark coming at you on occasion. But every time you see one and you let it go in this way, they don't come back. And if they do come back, just know you have power over all darkness. Darkness cannot do anything to you unless you've agreed. And sometimes that agreement is unconscious, or, oh, my parents said to do this, or this is what my religion said, or my friend said. No, if it feels bad, say, stop, no more, I see you. Or even better, say, I call you into the light, because maybe you don't see them at the moment. I call you into the light. And that darkness does not want to be in the light. It doesn't want to be seen. It doesn't want to be known, because then you can send energy back to it. But if it's a part of a collective mass of ugly shit, guess what? 10 of them can come at you all at once. So each time I call you into the light and I see you. I call you into the light and I see you. Magic's going to happen. That's all we have to do right now. We don't have to struggle through it, whatever. Just call it into the light and make a choice and say no more. So I love you. I don't want to carry this on too long. And I see there's been lots of beautiful people joining. And thank you, Jamie. And we will talk again soon. but sit with this. I'm feeling it too. It's distorted. It's ugly. It doesn't feel good inside, but I call you into light. Whatever's feeling that, I call you into the light. No more. Simple as that. So I love you. If there's any questions, put them in the notes, PM me, whatever. Have a great day. Love you all. You got this. This isn't fun. This hasn't been easy, but you got it. And fuck, we made it this far. So we're going to get across the finish line, and we all deserve it. So big rewards coming. Thank you. Love you. See you soon.